Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Erlengrat. Don't think there's anything left down over here. I think I already picked it all up. I could go and get the mower on the front and just mow a tiny little bit around the edge somewhere to try and get one more bale, but I don't think we're going to worry about that. We're going to leave it. We're going to dump that one out, and that's it. There is a mod you can use that will empty out the bale, but it doesn't actually give you the part bale. It just clears the baler so that you can then go and start something fresh next time round. So I don't actually want to go and use that one. We'll leave the baler there. We can't go and use the artisan yet and start gathering stuff up, so I am back off to the shop to go and get the wrapper, and we've now got to wrap all of these bales. This is going to be a bit time-consuming and tedious, but that's what happens when we take a silaging job, and it will be worth it. We will get a nice bit of money. We get 10 grand for the contract, and we will also get a little bit of money for any excess bales that we get as well. So there is going to be a bit of money coming. We're going to get a nice reward for this job once we eventually finish it. Right, I am back in a new recording session, and I am just coming in here to collect that bale wrapper right there so that we can go and wrap all of the bales. Actually, I'll tell you what, we will just check and see if we've got any contracts that aren't fertilizer, because yeah, we haven't. Right, because the fertilizer ones go through so quickly, I'm not going to start any harvesting ones at the moment either. We won't worry about setting any of those going just for a minute. It says, seriously reconsidering already. There is that one. That's 5,000 euros. Field 10. How big is Field 10? Field 10's, and it's all the way over there. If there was a Field 14 one, maybe that would be worth doing. Right. We won't worry about it. The fields aren't that big, right? And that's what I like about this as a series, is that the fields aren't going to be that big. Now, there's something that I wanted to talk about and address immediately. Whether I'll get all of this into this video, or whether some of it will have to be in tomorrow's video, it does depend on sort of how the footage already is and so on and so forth. Never mind that. A person by the name of Rusty GB has given a very, very good critique on the current series and also the previous series regarding rules, and why people don't seem to be overly happy with several of the rules that I come up with. And that is my lack of continuity. And he's got a very valid point, right? I do have a serious lack of continuity with rules. I'll make up the rules and then I will change them pretty quickly. And he has said, and rightly so, this is something that does seem to frustrate a lot of people. And it's also a reason why I'm getting a lot of, possibly a reason why I'm getting a lot of kickback about new rules that I'm laying out, because I have this lack of continuity. I'm frequently known for not sort of following my own rule set and so on. And so what he suggested was, perhaps I shouldn't have said these are the rules at the start of the series. I should have said these are, potentially rules, which is what I actually meant, is what I kind of intended, is like, these could be the rules, and then we'll hash it out between me making the videos and then reading the feedback. So that is a very, very valid bit of criticism right there, and I've taken that on board, and I've had a look, and I've gone through the feedback and everything, and we've got the kind of rules. So what I want to give to you today is a list of, like, a finalized list of rules. I've gone through, like, your feedbacks and so on, and I've heard what you've said about various different ideas for rules. I gotta be honest, I really don't like how slow this thing is for doing wrapping. This job here is going to take a while, so it's a good job I got something to waffle on about. So, yes, I've got 8 rules that I think we can stick to for this series. There is one rule in there that is a maybe, right? There is one. So we've got 7 solid rules. First of all, no leasing, right? There will be no leasing in the series. The exception to that is if I should have a piece of machinery to do a contract, and because of my own carelessness it hasn't turned up, as that's what we had with the Artisan, although we just took another contract job and that kind of solved that. So, you know, unless the game produces a bug, we're not leasing anything. So there's no leasing in the game. Rule number 2, no loan. All right, we don't have any loan to start off with. We are a student fresh out of college. We don't really have any collateral. And then later on, we're just, you know, one of those people that doesn't want to get beholden to the bank. So there's going to be no loan in this series. We're just going to say no loan. So we've got no leasing, rule 1. Rule 2, no loan. Rule number 3 is the same rule I had in the Boulder Canyon series. No working past 8 p.m. or before 7 a.m. Now, I did occasionally break that rule in Boulder Canyon. I'm going to be a lot more sort of particular about this rule in this series. We are absolutely having no work past 8 p.m. or before 7 a.m. And we're going to say that that is a policy here in this region. Now, I've worked on farms on big estates before where they had that as a rule. You were not allowed to operate any machinery past 8 p.m. And that was to do with pheasant shooting. They didn't want the pheasants being disturbed. Another one was just because of neighbors and so on. So I've been in places before, I've had it, and so we'll say that this whole valley doesn't just rely on agriculture. This valley relies on tourism. This valley relies on its natural beauty and the animals that live here and so on. So we don't want late night working, loud machinery, anything like that. So there is no working past 8 p.m. It doesn't matter what we're doing. It doesn't matter if we got a job that we desperately want to finish. Say we want to do weeding, whatever, in the fields. Nope, too bad. If you haven't finished by 8, then you pack it all up and you go away. Now, it will be a bit different to Boulder Canyon because I'm not doing anything with timescale. Timescale, we're not touching that. There are no rules regarding that. I can do that however I please. So, rule number 4 is going to be when we get our own farm and we start working that land, it's going to be 100% organic. And I know that organic fertilizers can be bought these days fairly cheap. Not much difference in cost to standard fertilizers. However, for the purposes of gameplay, because we can't like alter the prices to get better for the organic and so on, we're just going to state no artificial fertilizers, no bought fertilizers. We can buy lime and we can apply that to the fields. We cannot buy herbicide. We cannot buy any fertilizer. If we want fertilizer, it has to be slurry or straw coming from our own animal pens. Slurry or manure coming from our own animal pens. That is the only sources of fertilizer that we will be having. And there will be no herbicides. We may be able to get through with a weeder during the first growth stage, but other than that, it's not happening. So yeah, completely organic. Now, I'll leave that one. So rule number 5 is no development of any arable land. We live in an area of pristine natural beauty right here, and there is limited land available for serious arable farming. And not only that, because of the mountainous region, like the arable land is somewhat limited, so it's needed to grow crops. We will not get any planning permission to build anything on the existing arable land, and that does include these grass fields that we're working at the moment, these flat ones, right? There will be no planning permission for anything that is currently marked out as an existing field on this map. So we've got those 3 up there, we got that bunch there, and then this lot up here, okay? So in the whole map in here, that lot there and those 3, we're not allowed to develop that land at all. We can't even put up a small shed or a vehicle shelter, nothing. There is no development of arable land here. It is strictly prohibited due to the laws of the local area, the local town. We're not allowed to do it. So if we want to be able to develop anything, to build anything, that's got to be on the more mountainous land, on the more uneven land, and we've got to then level the site and so What was next? No cheap landscaping mods, so we're not going to do, like, that sort of ties in a bit with the last one, no development of the arable land. We can't have mods that drastically reduce the costs of the landscaping. I know that we do. I've got the factory one. I can't remember what it's called exactly. Hang on. If I jump out of here, I think then if I go here, left control G, like that, and that gives us this menu right here. Dynamic storage is the global company mod that we've got. Now, activate extended placeable. We've got the horse helper, activate more trees, cut bales, show object info. So we can go and cut bales open. The extended placeable allows us to place things down in some places where we wouldn't otherwise be able to. And I think it does tweak the price of landscaping a bit, but I'm not sure by how much. I don't think it's particularly drastic. But we're definitely not adding in any other mods that will alter the prices, because that's got to be part of the challenge. Rule number 7, contracts must be finished. We can't just go until it says contract finished. We've actually got to finish the field, right? We've got to make the job look neat and tidy. Just because it says contract finished and, you know, maybe the farmer has slightly miscalculated the amount of land he's got, and so has said, I need you to come and do 2 hectares, and we do 2 hectares, and there's still a tiny bit left. We're not going to abandon the job. We will finish the job properly every time. And the final one is no autoload. Now, I left this one until last because several of you have said, well, maybe we should consider autoload, right? But we'll see how it goes. So that one is, we're going to start off by saying no autoload, unless I need to move trailer loads of pallets. I have no intention of loading up trailer loads of pallets. So if there are trailer loads of pallets to be moved, I will use autoload for those, because quite frankly that is just going to be horrifically tedious and dull to watch. Although I'm planning to, if I do have to get pallets of anything, move them some other way, because we're not going to be buying pallets of fertilizer or anything like that. And I'm not planning to have chickens or sheep, so there's no pallets of wool and anything like that coming in. So it's unlikely we're going to need to move pallets. And then moving bales, we'll get a standard bale stacker. Now, the actual volume of the bale, the moment we got the normal 4,000 litre bales, I'm not going to say whether or not we can increase the capacity of the bale or not. Some of you have already said you think I should, and some of you have already said you think I shouldn't. Some of you said that, yes, I should and not use the autoload, and some of you said I should use autoload but leave the bales on the 4,000 litre capacity. So I'm having to deal with more bales, and it makes it a little bit more, you know, it justifies using the autoload. So at the moment, the autoload is not set in stone. We may change our mind on that, but I'm going to start out with the intention of not using autoload. So I'll give you a quick rundown. We've got no leasing, no loan, no working past 8 PM or before 7 AM. Our own farm, when we get it, is going to be 100% organic with no exceptions. We're going to have no autoload. There is no development of any kind of arable land. We're not allowed to build anything whatsoever on any bought arable land. We cannot have any mods that make landscaping any cheaper, and all contracts must be completed, completely completed. All fields must be done. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Those are what I'm thinking are going to be the finalized set of rules, which we will not leave, apart from the autoload thing, right? The autoload thing is potentially the one that could change. The others, I'm hoping by this point we've kind of like, I've taken your feedback, and I've worked through it, and I've sort of picked up on what you like and what you don't like. There's a couple of other little bits in there, like the how we're doing the contracts. We're taking extra contracts and so on, but that's not really a hard and fast rule. It's just how we're going to play this one out. We're running a contracting business, so we're going to be employing other people to go and do other contracts as well. When you're running a business, when you're trying to set up a contracting business, you don't go and spend all of your time doing all of the machinery jobs. You get other people to come along and do it for you as well. So yes, we'll be having multiple contracts and we'll be having hired help to do it. Someone did suggest that we do something similar to what we did in Boulder Canyon. When we get our own land, we're not allowed to employ anybody on our own land until we have somewhere for them to have their meal and smoke breaks. And I think that's a good idea. It's not, although I don't necessarily think that we'll say a blanket they cannot have. We cannot have hired help, but what we will say is that we need to prioritize getting them somewhere for their meal break, so that when it's raining, they've got somewhere that they can go and shelter. Most farms I've worked on haven't had a dedicated area. You just kind of wander off to a barn somewhere if it's raining, and then eat your lunch, or I would eat my lunch in the tractor. It would sort of depend on what I was feeling like and so on. A lot of farms that I've worked on have had a dedicated meal break. Like, they don't expect you to keep going unless you're doing major harvest work or something like that, in which case you just eat in the tractor as you go along. But, most people do expect you to, take a meal break. And it's just that I've not really worked many places that have had a dedicated place for employees to go and have their meal breaks. Most farms I've worked on, and I've worked on a few, you just go and sit wherever you want. Usually I would go and find a barn with where the hay is stored, and I'd clamber up on top and sit on the hay. It's nice and comfortable and smells nice. It's a lot better than sitting on a pile of dead sheep, and I have done that as well to eat my lunch. So yeah, I think we will, but it's not something that it'll be a priority, but it's not something that we're going to state is a hard and fast rule. So let me know what you think of those rules. Let me know what you think of, the ideas for what we're going to do for the rest of this series. I realise that we are several episodes in by this point, but, we've kind of been establishing how things can run. This is a tedious old job, this is. This really is. I'm thinking I'm not going to take any bale wrapping contracts now until I get to buying my own wrapper, because I do have a wrapper that I modified. If I go into baling technology, it's the one that we used in FS19, in Boulder Canyon series. That one right there. Bale wrapper. Is that a continuous flow baler? Don't know if it is or not. We do have a continuous flow baler, and there's that one there, which is rather nice. My disappointment with that one there, that quadrant, was the width of the pickup. I was bitterly disappointed that the width of the pickup was lower than it should have been on there. And then we've got these other various different mods and so on. But it's that one right there, that Wrap Master. I modified that file so that the wrapping time is half of what the standard game wrapping time is. And that is purely for an entertainment type thing. Like, this is dull. This is boring work, and I don't really want to be doing all of my bales at this speed. So we had that one, and we sped up the wrapping time, which I thought was a pretty good compromise. It seemed to work quite nicely. So we did use that one, and I would be using that one again if we were to do too many contracts, because I would have finished this field by now. Double the wrapping speed. I reckon I would have just about finished wrapping this field by now, which would have been a lot better, because so far this is getting rather dull. I'm going to get this last bale here on his row, and then I'm thinking I'm going to go and start a contract somewhere. We'll get another contract going, and we get something else happening on the map, so that we're not just sort of doing all of these bales for too long in succession, because otherwise that is going to get very dull to watch. So we'll stop here. I love this tractor. Someone commented recently, I think it was actually on the time-lapse series, that the big voucher tractor, hardly anybody ever uses it. I'm thinking for this series, yes, I do plan on using the electric tractor. There is an electric tractor, and we're going to be like doing things as green and organically as we possibly can. But I'm also thinking that outside of the mods for the new DLC and the tractors, because it's all small tractors that we've got here, I'm thinking of going for voucher stuff. Like, the voucher stuff does sort of appeal to me. That one right there, that's the electric tractor. There's only one of them is electric, isn't it? Yeah. It is just one of them that was an electric tractor. So we will have to get the electric tractor. That one right there. We'll have to get that one. And give that one a whirl. We got wheel brands. The new thing... We're going to stick with new. We're going to just stick with new. We're not going to have the, like a lot of people have been saying at the used second-hand thing, it kind of feels a bit like a cheat because there's not that much of a penalty. Even though you do have like a lot of hours on the clock, it's still not that much of a penalty for running the machine. So, yes, technically it is kind of realistic that you could get it, but it sort of makes things a little bit too easy in the game. So, I'll probably just remove that mod altogether, and then we won't worry about it. But we won't worry about that. So there's no engine options. I don't have an option to make that more powerful, which is a little bit of a shame because it's only 68 horsepower. But it's a nice little tractor, so we will aim for that to be our small tractor. And then other ones, I'm kind of thinking Valtra. Like I like Valtra. Valtra's a nice beast. Look at it. Look at it. Big, savage, beautiful, sleek beast right there. I like this one. Now, enough of that. We want to go into contracts in here, and we've got a load of fertilizer jobs that do make a boatload of money. They really do. You can get a lot of money coming from fertilizer jobs, but I'm kind of thinking that... Actually, if I've got this one right here, same dude is offering, and it's the same machinery that he's offering, so I can accept both contracts. And I don't need to go and take it back and use a different machinery. We can just leave the second lot at the shop. So, Field 5, Samuel Egger. Has Samuel Egger got anything else for us to do? He doesn't. But he has Field 22 and Field 5. So, we can use the same stuff for him, because he's the same farmer. He's got that little field down there, and that one all the way up there. They're a bit spread apart, aren't they? Bit of a long way apart, these fields. But anyway, Field 5 and Field 22. I'm going to take both of those, so I'm going to borrow items on that one. And then Field 5, I'm just going to accept contract, because I'm already borrowing... No, actually, no, that kind of cheating, isn't it? Because we need to knock... We have the penalty for using his machinery. So we're still going to borrow the items, even though we're not planning to change over. And then I'll do both of those fields with the same lot, because it's the same owner. That is an acceptable thing. And I've been told by some of you before already that that is an acceptable way of doing it. So we're going to take that one. Now, I'm going to need to buy some fertilizer. And I'm thinking, right, I've got some seed over there. What happened to the liquid spray? We sent that back, didn't we? So we're going to want to buy some fertilizer. In order to be able to do this, that is $2,000 per bag. I'm going to go with 4 bags of fertilizer. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That is 8,000 euros worth of fertilizer. I'm going to get this spreader here hooked on. The other tractor and spreader, we are just going to leave them right where they are. I'm just going to pretend that they're not even there, that they don't... Oh, I've actually picked up the wrong weight for this job, so let's not send anything back just yet. We're just going to pretend that the other stuff isn't there and doesn't actually exist, because this farmer has given us the... We've already got the machinery for this job, so we're going to load these up. We'll go into Field 22 first, which is the one right next to us here in the corner over there. And we get that one underway, and then once that job is done, we can head on up to Field 5 and get that one done as well. We'll leave our trusted hired help doing this job. I'm hoping that he's got the wherewithal to be able to do this. We're putting a lot of faith in them. Sometimes our hired helpers are a little bit slow and steady. Other times they do actually prove their worth. So we will see what happens this time. So we field 22. How do I... Whoa, what just happened? I don't know if you've seen that or if that was just me, but the entire screen just went blank. Now, whether that was just me... Oh, just in case anything went horribly wrong right there, I've got a road sign there that I've gathered up and taken away. Why did everything suddenly... It all went blank, just in case you didn't see it, or in case the video went a little bit strange. Literally, I just had black screen. I'm not quite sure why. I've not had that happen before. Maybe it was the location I was in. I don't really know. Maybe it was a mod conflict. I still don't know. I'm going to assume that everything is currently tickety-boo. And we're just going to carry on. So I'm going to bring you in here, and I'm going to... No, I'm not going to do the AI extension. I'm going to switch that one off. I'm going to go with normal hired help. So I'm going to run along the side of the field here. And get down to the end of the field here. And then I'm going to start going in the other direction. And I'm going to set the normal hired help going on that. And I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to do anything else. That is just going to be normal hired help going up through there, and that'll be it. So I'm going to bring you to this point right here. Back you round like this. Try and straighten you out and get you just right on there. There we go. Right. And I'll send you off up that way. There. Right, that is away and off and going, and I love that we've got Nitrado high-end prepaid gaming servers right in here. That is a very sleek bit of product placement done right there. I wonder how much they had to pay Giants to get that in on the map. That is absolutely beautiful. What a slick bit of product placement right there. Just so happens that I'm also affiliated with Nitrado. You can check them out. There is a link to them in the description. You could also check out Fanatical while you're down there, because Fanatical provide games. You can buy Farming Simulator from them, among many other games. And with the Fanatical stuff, I also earn a small commission. It doesn't affect your price that you pay. There you go, a bit of product placement. But yeah, that is a very nice bit of product placement from Nitrado there. I hadn't noticed that before. Absolutely beautiful. So let's go on and do a little bit more wrapping. We will head down this side. I'd like to finish this job this week if I can. It's doubtful whether I can, to be honest, because of how long it takes to do the wrap. I'm not doing silage bales anymore. Not until we have our own plot of land and I have my own... wrapper. I'm quite happy to still lease machinery to do the jobs. Say I'll lease machinery, paying for the use of the farmer's own wrapper. But if I've got my wrapper that does it at twice the speed, you can be absolutely certain that I'm going to go and get my own wrapper, and I'm going to bring that one back over here, and I'm going to do it with that. Right? That is just... It goes without saying that is absolutely, definitely happening. I am not going to be doing this job at this kind of rate. So we'll have to wait and see. As soon as this one is wrapped, I'm going to go into the menu again. Got this one more right here. And there we go. Right, as soon as this one is wrapped... Oops, pressing the wrong button there. Wrong pedal. Sorry, I'm going backwards. Right, there. I want to have a look in here because there was another baling job that I seen. Well, unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. So while I sit up here and enjoy this view and a well-earned break, could you please consider taking a look at the links in the description down below? We have Nitrado, who provide gaming servers, who are very, very reliable, and they provide us with a server on our Discord channel. And there is also Fanatical, where you can buy all kinds of different computer games for various different platforms. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.